So in this video, we wanted to share with you an update from PMI. So they have just released the table of content for the PMBOK 8, which will help you probably be better prepared for the next version of the PMBOK and eventually of the PMP exam. So if you go to pmi.org, you go to learning about PMI standards, okay, and then you scroll all the way down to here. Right, see, new PMBOK guide, 8th edition coming soon. This is the cover of the book, and then download the table of content. So we will do that. All right, and this here, it will explain to us this table of content, what we should expect from this PMBOK 8. What will it focus on? What will be the content? Okay. Now, PMI hasn't released yet the date of the changes to the ECO, the exam content outline for the PMP, but most people expect it to be in 2026. Some people shared, or we have seen some information that it will be during July 2026. All right. Yeah, we will see about that. All right. So here your guide, the table of content of the PMBOK guide. And by the way, PMI announced that they will release a PDF version to the PMI members. I mean, they did not say the PMI members. They said PDF will be available in November 2025, and then hard copy, paperback copy will be available on Amazon in January 2026. However, we understood from that what they have announced, like the Kindle version, the digital version, it might also be available for PMI members. Okay, so we will have enough time to go through it and make the updates to our PMP training. All right, so this, of course, the P version 8 will contain both the standard and the guide. Okay, of course, here as usual, just the notice, the usual notice, and here the table of content. Now for the standard, there will be preface, which contains what does evidence-based, the summary of changes. Okay, then introduction was the purpose as usual, key terms and concepts, then the fundamental elements of project management, characteristics of a project, how to connect organizational governance and project governance. This is so important, since we already know from the draft version that there'll be big focus on the governance, which will also be part of that process table, if we call it process table, difference between operations and project management, and also relationship to portfolio, program, project and operations management. Then there is a big focus on the system for value delivery, and I appreciate that, to be honest. I've been in the project management industry for nearly 2 decades, and I really appreciate how we're focusing so much on creating a system which guarantees the focus on creating and delivering value. So here we're talking about how to create value, what are the value delivery components, the types of components as well, how to measure them, and how to assess the project success. Then project environment, which we traditionally know some part of it, like the EEFs, the enterprise environmental factors, the OPAs, organizational process sets, policies, processes, procedures, the knowledge repositories, the organizational structures. Okay. Then also some product management considerations, product life cycle compared to project life cycle, etc. Then different functions associated with projects, like how to provide oversight, coordination of different aspects of the project, getting feedback, managing feedback, which is very important, to get feedback, especially from stakeholders, users on early products, etc. How to facilitate and support teamwork, perform the work, different techniques for that, applying expertise, provide organizational direction and insight, and provide resources. Remember, this is just the standard, which is the shortest part of the guide. The guide will contain, I think, 400-ish pages. I have posted about that, I think 412, 16 pages, something like that. Then the project management roles, like the project management team, like mainly in waterfall and hybrid, sponsor, customer, product owner as key stakeholders, and project management roles, the project team, the team who will do the work, and then who are the end users and other key stakeholders. Then 6 project management principles, no more 12, but 6 now in the PMBOK 8. In the PMBOK 7, we had 12. Okay. Then the project management mindset. This is a very important one. I really love it. We will talk about it in other videos. Principles, performance domains. Now, adopting a holistic view on what will be the project impact, what is the principle in taking action, and then how to connect or the connected performance domains, focusing on value. Okay, and then again on project impact, principle in action, connected performance domains that repeats in each one of them. Okay, embedding quality into process and deliverables, and then be accountable, an accountable leader. It's a pretty good one, really. We've talked about leadership in PMBOK 7. We focused a lot. There is a big focus on the PMBOK. In the current PMP version on leadership, project managers leadership. Now there is also an enhancement of that accountability. Then integrating sustainability within all project areas, and then building an empowered culture. Okay, and then it summarizes here the project life cycles, like the project phases, not so different from the ones we know them so far. The development approaches like predictive, adaptive, and hybrid. Again, just a few processes are changed in the predictive, adaptive, and hybrid. No big changes to what we know so far. Okay. What to consider when developing a project management approach in terms of deliverables, project organization, types of delivery cadence. Okay, we saw that already, in the current version. And then here we have what we call focus areas. Okay, the project management focus areas. It is kind of, we don't call that performance domains or actually we still have the performance domains here. The focus areas are initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, controlling, and closing, and then as a whole. All right, then you have your index and references, and then here's the bigger part, which is the guide. First we will have the introduction about the structure of the guide, relationship between the guide and the standard, changes to the guide, and then the relationship to PMI Standards Plus platform. Okay, and then here we have the project management performance domains. I think there are gonna be 7 performance domains. Yes, exactly 7. The project governance performance domain, which is really important one, focusing on value creation, the different governance models, now metrics, mechanisms of effective project governance, any other additional considerations for predictive environments, key concepts, processes, tailoring considerations. Definitely, tailoring is part of the PMI's mindset, interactions with other domains, and this will repeat, the tailoring. They will repeat, like, the key concepts, processes, tailoring considerations, interactions with other domains, and check results. They will repeat, for all the performance domains. Okay, so we have the governance, we have the scope performance domain, we will have the schedule performance domain, we will have the finance performance domain, which includes procurements, budgeting, costs, etc. I like that how they call it finance. So we see. Now we have the governance, and then the 3 typical ones: scope, schedule, and now we call it finance, no more cost. Then we will have stakeholders, we will have resources and risks. Okay, and then the other stuff, we know some of them will be in the indexes. Okay, then of course tailoring, as usual, is a separate chapter by itself. Okay, which is quite an important part of PMI's mindset, because cannot have one standard project management approach or methodology, and we apply it on all the projects. Okay. Now, how to choose the development approach, how to select the life cycles, processes, and then make sure everyone's engaged, and then the tailoring, selecting tailoring for the organization for the project, and then implementing it on an ongoing process, on an ongoing basis, as we saw in PMBOK 7 already. We saw that. Okay, then tailoring the performance domains again for the project needs, diagnostics. To check if everything is going well, or we need to make some improvements, etc. Okay, inputs and outputs, probably not as heavy as we had in PMBOK 6, but yes, we need to know some inputs and outputs, and there will be many questions in the new PMP exam next year about inputs, outputs, not in the old way, the way I had nearly 15 years ago when I took my PMP exam, but rather in a different way. Okay, and then tools and techniques, the tables of tools, and those will be tables. Okay, the tools and techniques here. Okay, then we have to go through the appendixes. Okay, now the PMO We'll have an appendix itself. There will be a few questions about PMO. The new things we're gonna see, in the PMP is the PMO value proposition, customer centricity, PMO providing services, types of PMO models and structure, PMO maturity models. Okay, AI. This is part of the technical ways of working, which is something new. Before the talent triangle, we had ways of working. Now we have technical ways of working because we will include technology. Now we cannot talk about project management without talking about technology. And AI sees Appendix 3, okay? Quite an important one, right? So artificial intelligence in the context of a project, how to adopt AI, what's the state of the market, common use cases. This will help at least, explain to the project managers how to use AI, what are the common cases, whether in reporting, taking meeting minutes, tracking project plans, progress, etc. Responsible use, very important, and ethical concerns, okay, and some suggested resources, not only just training with PMI, but other resources, okay. Procurement, then we'll have an appendix itself, okay, so probably this, yeah, kind of similar to what we know so far in the current version. Procurement introduction overview, the make or buy analysis, very important one. How to pick or the procurement strategy, bidder conference, process and documents. How to make the selection of the vendors and the source selection criteria, contract types, the fixed contracts, the cost reimbursable, the time and materials. These are the fundamental contract models, and then there are these emerging trends in contract management. We will also look at them. Okay, then claims administration in case of disputes, etc. And then the sensitivity, of taking legal actions, right? And then last part is the evolution of the PMBOK guide, references, etc. Now it stops here at page 277, but we expect the guide will be around 400 pages, or at least that's what PMI announced on their Amazon page. Now we hope that this has helped you, okay, to better understand what's coming, with the next version of the PMBOK, the 8th edition, as you see it here. Thank you for your attention. Stay tuned. We will share more as soon as possible, okay?